All right. I hope everybody can hear me now. Sorry about that. I had some microphone issues. So, everybody, welcome to Green Industry Raw and Uncut. I'm your host, Doug Reich, and up in the corner here, we've got Chant Singvongsa. I'm sure everybody out there knows who this guy is. Daily Hustle, chantsdailyhustle.com. Make sure you guys go check that out for some really, really sweet gear. I tried to have mine in and ordered before the holidays, but I have lots of kids and Christmas came and I didn't order. So
no problem, man.
Make sure you guys check that out. And yeah, we're going to get the show started. Thank you to all of our previous guests. You know, the show's kind of taken off here really, really well, guys. And I appreciate everybody's support and watching and all that. So let's get rolling here. So Chant, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, man? Not the guy that we see on YouTube. I know you try to put it out there the best you can for people, and you know, I love your videos. If anything I can say about them, they're inspiring, you know, and I hope that everybody else kind of feels the same way. So let's hear about you, man. Let's hear about the family and the guy we don't see on YouTube.
Well, I'm originally from Jackson, I'm from Jackson, Minnesota, and I'm 36, I think. 37, actually, not 36. You know, from Laos, and all I do is work, man. I guess I don't have, there's not much to know about me, you know? It's just the hustle. You guys get to see that stuff, you know, all of that on there. I put mostly everything out on what you guys see, you know.
That's good, man, and there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, you're married. You got 2 kids, right?
Yep.
2 children,
yep.
beautiful
Married,
family.
Got 2 kids, 2 boys, and yeah, a cat. So that's about it.
What does the family think about Dad being a YouTube sensation?
The boys love it. Wife, she doesn't mind, you know. She just stays back. But she's very supportive of doing that. At first, you know, the wife is like, "What the heck are you doing?" But you know, other than that, man, it's part of life now. YouTube's been part of our life. So
you kind of take the camera with you just about everywhere you go, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yep. I have the camera on, you know, with me 24/7. And you never know when you're going to capture what you need to capture during the day. So, yeah.
At what point did you say, and I kind of went back through your YouTube here, and it looks like you've been making videos, at least on the channel that I've seen, for about 2 years now. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
So,
2 years.
Yeah. At what point did you say, you know, I'm going to buy a camera and I'm going to start making videos? And I know at one point you were doing vlogs daily. You know, and I got to imagine with all the businesses and everything you're doing, that got to be a bit much. But at what point did you say, I'm going to start, you know, vlogging my life and showing everybody else what I've got going on?
Okay. You know, I created the YouTube channel in February 2014, but really never put any content out there. And by 2015, I just decided I wanted to, right? Because I already had a photography business going at that time, and I found out you can record with the DSLR, so it made sense for me to go ahead and shoot videos. And I said, I'm just going to do this to share what I do. But at that time, I wasn't sharing the business side of it yet. I was just doing my family. I'm showing my kids and my family at that time, and from that, man, it just grew. It just got to the point where, well, a whole year of daily vlogging, we had only like 50 people watching for a whole year. You know, I'd get between 20 to 50 views for the year, and I just kept pumping them out. And then suddenly, 2016, it just took off. You know, then I started to get recognized, and people were watching. We were getting thousands of views, getting subscribers left and right. And so from that point, I just kept doing it, you know. So,
how many,
and it made the business interesting because at one point business was not fun anymore because I was getting bored of it. You get to the point where you stay stagnant. It's nothing's fun anymore until, like, I'm the type that I've got to keep creating or else I get bored with myself, man. If my mind just does not roll, I just stand still, and it's not fun anymore. So that's why I picked up and did the vlogs. It's fun to share.
yeah, absolutely. And how many crazy looks do you get a day when you're sitting there, with a camera out here recording yourself, everything you do?
Man, it's every day. People want, like, especially in the small town of Jackson, Minnesota. You got it's a population of 3,200, and it's still new. It's new to the small town, but you get crazy looks. I get crazy looks all the time, man. It's because the camera is not small by any means. It's huge. Got that furry thing on top, and you're walking around, you're talking to yourself, and I'm to the point where I know why I'm doing it, so it just doesn't bother me as much anymore. So yeah.
Right. So how many businesses do you have? I know of at least 4 off of the top of my head, but I'm wondering if there's more that people don't know about.
Okay. So we got the landscaping and snow removal. That's our very first one. And then I've got the photography. Then we've got the laundromat. We've got the iMobile Solutions. That's a phone repair. And then we're getting the live bait business. That's going to be hopefully running here in a few weeks. And then this daily hustle stuff, man. The daily hustle is a business in itself. So it started off as a hobby, and then suddenly it's turned into a business. You take advantage of that the opportunity to grow as a business from that. So
that's good. So the daily hustle, the merchandise, and everything is taken off pretty well for you then.
Yes. Yep. It's just like everything that I've started, all the business that I've started, it's because of either it was a problem at one point, what I was struggling with myself. It just turned into, like, everything that was a problem, it just turns into a business. Because then that problem is you figure out a solution to your own problem.
Right.
Then your problem is other people's problems too, but you figured out the answer. So now you share. Now you turn it into the business because you know what you're doing now.
Yeah. Well, I remember seeing when you very first bought the embroidery machine. I'm like, oh man, he's about to start dropping some really big things, and I thought that was really cool because I myself do all my own screen printing and merchandise and stuff like that too. Not quite on the scale that you do, but like you said, it's a solution. I don't want to pay somebody else to do it when I know that I can do it myself. Right. So why not just do it? Now, have you turned the daily hustle and the embroidery? Have you started doing that for other customers as well, or is that just kind of something you're doing just for yourself?
Well, right now, it's mainly for us, but I've done a couple orders here and there for customers, but I have not put it out there to the public, even in Jackson here, to say we do embroidery. It's because it's not that I know that we'll get work. It's just, do I really want to do that?
Right.
Because that one machine already keeps us busy doing our own merch and a couple of people's merch, that we do for the lawn care industry. I guess I'm not ready yet, it's just, I'd like to have fun while I'm doing it as well as make money.
Yeah. And once it becomes a business, you kind of lose the fun part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to try to keep it fun and make money at the same time, because if it goes all into you're not enjoying it, man. I don't care how much money I make, I still won't be happy.
Right.
So
right. There's always more to be made. Absolutely.
Right.
So what actually got you started? Your first business, you said, was the landscaping company. What got you started doing that?
Okay. The landscaping. Well, let's rewind back. I worked in a factory building medical cables. I'd say about, 14 years ago, 15 years ago. I was working in a factory from like 4:30 to 4:30 at night, 4:30 in the morning to 4:30 at night. And the landscaping was just like a side hustle. We bought a house, our first house, and I went out and bought a Craftsman push mower at Sears. And at that time, $200 to $300 was difficult for me to even come up with, because I was working in a factory. That was like almost half of my pay, if not three-quarters of my pay, when I was working in the factory at that time. And so I had to figure a way how to make money with that push mower, that I just bought. And so I went out knocking on doors and landed some push mowing accounts. Suddenly from that point, it took off. I didn't know how to landscape at that time. All I knew was lawn mowing. And landscaping grew as lawn care grew.
Right. So now you're doing snow. Well, you're trying to do snow. You guys haven't had a ton of snow up there, right?
What's that?
You guys haven't had a ton of snow up there yet, right?
No, we haven't. No, we haven't had much compared to last year. We just been out twice.
Oh wow. Okay. I think we're up to about 7 times now here in Michigan. So
wow,
it's been nonstop.
I need to move up there.
Yeah. Hey, you're welcome anytime, man. Anytime. Nick wants to know, and maybe you can drop this for him real fast. How do you pronounce your name correctly?
It's Chant Singvongsa.
There you go. There you go, Nick. Question answered.
It's right. It's the way it's spelled. That's Singvongsa. Last name Singvongsa. Singvongsa.
Okay. So obviously you started your landscaping business. What came next? Was it the laundromat?
Mm-hmm. Photography came next. I just picked up a camera at Walmart, and at that time I couldn't afford taking our kids' picture, right? It costs a couple $100 just to go to a professional to get your family picture and stuff. And I said, I'm going to learn how to run a camera. So I went to Walmart and bought Canon T3i. At that time, it was like $600. And from that point, I learned how to shoot it. And that camera made me more, it paid for itself and made enough money that I could keep stepping up my camera gear. So then I said, okay, this has to turn into a business. So then that's how the photography formed on that part.
So now you're shooting weddings, probably some bar mitzvahs.
Now I'm shooting weddings. Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. That's cool, man. That's cool. So what, as far as camera gear goes, what are you running these days?
Right now for my vlogs, I use a Sony A7S II to run my vlogs, and with the 16 to 35 millimeter lens. And then for my photography, I shoot with all Canon. I've got 4 or 5 different lenses for the Canon,
Okay.
So I shoot with, and that's just for wedding, strictly for wedding.
Okay.
Or wedding and photo shoots.
So with all the businesses and everything you've got going on, how many employees do you have?
Well, right now I just got that. To be honest, I've just got Michael. He's just like our mainly full-time guy, and the rest is temporary right now. And then during the summertime, I try to at least hire 2 more or 3 more help for us during the summer.
Gotcha. Okay.
I run all this myself, man. I'm constantly, the photography and all of this that I've got, the laundromat, it's just on me most of the time. My wife doesn't even have nothing to do with them.
No? She's not even closing that thing up for you or anything like that, huh?
She does. She does when I'm really gone. But other than that, she's busy with the kids and stuff more.
Right.
She's more of a stay-at-home mom with the kids. So.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. My wife does the same.
No.
And I kind of prefer it that way. I don't want to have my kids at daycare, so you know.
Right. Yeah.
So I got a question from somebody who's watching. This is from Nick Saint.
Okay.
He says, so dealing with negativity from social media, you seem to hold your composure very well. How do you maintain professionalism when confronted with the negativity?
Okay. On social media, I try to apply what I do in business, lawn care and landscaping, onto my social media as well. I don't do as good as I do in my businesses, out in the public and stuff. But on social media, I try to apply the same thing I do out in my business, the field, with my customers and stuff. I don't like a lot of things. I might not agree on a lot of things with my customers, but there's ways to handle them, I guess, just to keep cool, because it doesn't get anywhere if I get frustrated. I do get frustrated. I'm human, man, but you do your best, because customer service is the number one thing that I've learned in business, is that, I got to keep my composure and, just not flat. I guess it's not so straightforward. There's ways to word things when it comes to things like that. So,
well, I know you just had one the other day, and this might have been yesterday or something like that. You had a comment where somebody was going to stop following you because you had now put ads into your videos. And to me that was, I took it as like, what? That's stupid. I mean, if I had the opportunity to put ads in my videos and make even a couple cents off of the content that you're putting out, I mean, I would do it all day long. But obviously, they feel a different way about it. What made you decide to do that and take it to the next level and hopefully start making a few dollars off of YouTube?
Okay, I think when I had the chance to monetize my videos, I did, because I felt like if I'm going to work this hard, there should be some kind of a reward as well, right? Even though it might be pennies, those pennies stack up. And I felt like there was that opportunity again. I built this channel up with the help of everybody else to that part where you can monetize and make some income on it. I said, I'm going to do it. I was putting out a year worth of videos, and at that time, I couldn't even monetize. I was vlogging for a whole year without much views, because you had to reach certain views in order to monetize it. So for a whole year, I wasn't getting views, but I was still pumping out them videos. And then finally, the chance that I got to monetize, I just went ahead and did it, So.
Yeah, and I don't blame you for doing it, and I don't think anybody watching blames you for doing it, even a little
I think
bit.
That
so
all the business people will understand that people don't realize that it's to the pennies what we make on that, but at the same time, it's something, it's something. It helps.
Might be enough to buy you a new drone if you fly it into a tree again.
Yeah, right. It's just one of those things, it's an incentive. It's very small, but it's an incentive.
Right.
Because if anybody that does vlogging or YouTube, they understand that it takes a lot of work. You're taking away time from your family. You're spending 3-4 hours. You're spending just to edit. It takes me 3 hours just to edit. And then through the day, I'm vlogging. I'm recording all day, or not all day, but just clips here and there.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's not easy. So what, separating business, all the businesses that you have and your personal life, how do you find time to make it all happen?
I guess how I find time, I think for me is that, to be honest, what you guys see is work, 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 and that's literally what I do. And there's no part, there's not, I don't do anything else besides work. You know, I'm so obsessed in this game and so into this that it's to the point where this is my life. This is what I know. Either I'm down here working or I'm with the family. Those are the two, that's the only two things I do every day.
So there is no partying for Chant.
No,
and that's good. That's good. I'm the same exact way. I'm either working or at home.
Right.
You know.
I just, I don't have no problem with anybody doing what they do. It's just what works for me is that I feel like my time is well spent in growing my business and being with my family. That's it. And nothing else, I guess nothing else matters besides that.
Right.
You know.
What keeps you driving? What keeps you, I mean, obviously there's days where you've got to be tired. You know, running a lot of businesses and running ragged all the time. When you wake up on those days and you're like, you got to say it in your head. I mean, you have to. I don't want to do this today. What makes you get up and go?
What really gets me going, or gets me up and going, is that I know what I'm doing. Well, there'll be a reward at the end of whatever I'm doing, because I believe today that no matter how much work you put in, along the way you'll struggle and you'll trip a little bit and drag, but I know that in the end my main goal is to get to a level where I couldn't imagine, man. It's my family, my two boys and my wife, man. And I guess from a place of having nothing, growing up broke and poor, and being in the welfare system, I think when you get a taste of that life back then, this is nothing, man. I can, if I lose all this business that I made, I've been to the bottom. I've been to the bottom. There's no bottom that's going to make it worse than what I have right now. And I think that's what really drives me, is that I've seen that dirtiest and the darkest bottom that I've been in.
Yeah, and if you guys go back, and like I said, I was surfing your YouTube a little bit earlier just to get a little bit of content. If you guys go back and you check out Chant's YouTube, the first couple of videos on there kind of explain where he came from, and when he says the bottom, I mean that's where it was, and very, very good videos. And like I said, I mean, a lot of your videos are inspiring, and how do you keep coming up with content that is inspiring? I mean, when do you have a mental block and you say, you know what, I'm out of ideas, I'm out of stuff to do, I don't know what to do anymore?
Ah, boy. I think that every day I take inventory of myself and my feelings of where I'm at. And even though I might not want to share those feelings or those emotions at that moment, it's actually what I need to put out. That's when I get a block. When I get a block, like there's times I always think, oh man, they've seen this enough. I'm out in the shop showing, doing this, doing that, but I don't realize that some days I just need to get up and go do it. Just do it and vlog something and create something.
Yeah.
So
here's another question from a viewer. It's Nick again. Surprise. No, he'll keep them coming all night long. So he says, social media, especially in the lawn care world, has become a very tight-knit community. Where do you see it going in the next, say, 3 years? Do you see it getting better, or do you see a shift from platforms like YouTube over to Facebook, or do you see it staying in YouTube? Stuff like that. I mean, I think that Facebook's getting a little bit bigger personally for the videos
Mm-hmm.
and everything, and I think that it's a more personal level.
Right.
I mean, what do you think about that?
I think that it's going to grow. I think both for the both platforms. You know, like you said, for Facebook, it is very it's personal because you can really connect that one-on-one on Facebook. And YouTube, YouTube is just, it'll get big, but if you're speaking from like the creator side, that's why everybody will dab into YouTube, but it will separate the ones that really are putting out content on YouTube because they love putting out content from the ones that are just doing it for the money. Because like I said, there's no money, man, in it in the beginning, and you're just putting out content. So YouTube will either, if the ones that are putting it out got a channel, they'll separate that. It's not going to get as big, you know. There's going to be viewers, and there's going to be the ones that, like, you know, any of us that are on YouTube that really want to do it and give out info.
What would you say has been your number one way to grow your YouTube? Obviously, in 2 years, you're up, getting close to 16,000, I believe, give or take. You know what? When did you start to see a real substantial growth in that?
On YouTube, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I started seeing it when, like I said, in my second, like I was vlogging through the whole year and not seeing anything, or people weren't watching. The second year, the second beginning of the spring, 2016, that's when I started to notice the climb in views. And once the climb went, I knew that there was that opportunity to just go ahead, put out more content of landscaping, lawn care, what the viewers wanted to see. And I just rolled with it. I took advantage of that, you know, and it was fun at the same time, because now I'm not just waking up and going to work. I'm actually sharing a little piece of my daily life to people. And I get a kick out of it because I love sharing, man. As you can see, I post every day. I mean, it's nonstop. It's nonstop on my end. But one thing I've learned is that nobody will market you as much as you market yourself. Nobody's going to do it for any of us. Because I look at things today as I'm a brand. We're all a brand. And we've got something to offer. So,
what advice would you have for a guy girl, kid, whatever, who is just now getting into YouTube? They're starting up their YouTube channel tomorrow, or they started it up last week. I mean, what would be your number one piece of advice for them?
What's that? Could you rephrase that? I couldn't hear you.
What would be your number one piece of advice for somebody starting up a YouTube, say right now?
Right now, if you were starting out YouTube, do it because you really love it, man. You love creating, you love sharing, and just you got to do it because you want to help and just share your part of your life or what you know, right? And that's the number one advice. And just keep vlogging, keep doing whatever you do on YouTube, because you only get better. You only will get better. As you look back at I'm not great at YouTube right now by any means, but when you look back at my old videos, you can see the quality, the way that I was speaking into the camera. I was not very comfortable. I was afraid. Like, I wasn't very comfortable in my own skin, man. I shook a lot. Plus, I'm not a people person, you know, at that time. And YouTube will help anybody that's starting out. They will find out it helps them personally. instead of feeling like I'm always giving, it helps me more than I'm giving info to the viewers, you know. So you got to do it because you like doing it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we got to do to get a daily hustle show on Lawn Care World TV?
Hey man, just give me a time and date, man. I'm the type of guy that just need a time and a date.
There you go, Nick. That was from
So,
Nick. He had to ask for a few friends. So
right, it doesn't take much, man. If you got a time and a date, and my schedule's open, I'm good.
no, and that was I hit Chant up or Chant up, and I'd never talked to him before. It was just out of the blue. I said, "Hey man, how would you feel about doing my show with me?" He's like, "Give me a time and a date," and we're on. And I'm like, the day after Christmas, he's like, "Done."
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, all right, that's cool, man. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Let's see. Okay, here's another one. So, obviously, snow business, although it's not working out great for you this year,
Right.
typically pretty big up there in Minnesota.
Yeah.
How would you, as far as your landscaping business is concerned, what percentage of profits would you say you get from snow versus mow?
Snow. I think from the snow and landscaping and lawn care, it's about from the snow to landscaping and lawn care. I'd say it has to be about 35% of our income for the snow. So, you know, snow. No matter how much a person saves and bakes up, you know, for the winter, it still helps, man, if it snows. I don't, even though you might have a cushion, for me, I'm not the type of guy that just wants to sit, right? I want snow. We depend on snow, income, you know, rolling in, cash flow. It helps, it all helps. And that's, you know, but like I said, I've got all this stuff going for me that it would be great for a little bit of snow.
Yeah. So do you guys are you guys doing contract snow up there, or are you guys just kind of doing per event?
Per push, yeah, yep, per event, or there's some per hour. You know, nobody wants to do like this, the Jackson here. Nothing's contracted, you know, for the season or anything. It would be nice.
See, and that's odd, to me at least, for the amount of snow that you guys get. And I know that Michigan, for those who don't know, Michigan and Minnesota battle for the worst winters in America, typically.
Right.
I would say about 95% of our stuff up here is contract.
Okay, yeah.
So even if it doesn't snow, which doesn't happen,
right.
You know, we're still making money, which is nice. But,
you
know.
It's just, there's the cons and the pros on both of the, you know, both of contract or per push or per event. There's years that, you know, we lost, and there's years that you're like a crab fisherman, right? Like you ever watch those shows on Discovery where you're out getting crabs or fish or whatever. Either you're going to make it big, or you're not going to come home with any cash or money.
Right.
That's how it is for us for a few years, you know. Either we get hit good and we're making a killing, you know, and it gets us by, gets us going, you know.
Right.
And there's times that you lose, but you know that it's just the season, and you just move forward and go with it again.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have, I don't know what Nick's asking here. He wants to know, first of all, what your favorite dish to eat on a cold night is. And then he asked about a cooking channel. Do you have a cooking channel too?
Man, that was coming up. That cooking channel, I really do want to do a cooking channel, but it's finding the time to do it. Because I love to eat, man. And eventually that cooking channel will come out. I don't know what I like to eat. I guess I just like hot noodle soup, man. Like the Asian style, like it's Asian ramen or whatever.
Yeah.
I like hot soup. So
okay. Very simple. All of your businesses, you've named them all off. Which one's your favorite?
Oh man, so much. You know, if I could just do pick one of the business, I'd say it'd have to be like the video, the creating side of videos. I like making content, man. If I could just focus on making videos, the content would just look way better, I think, if I had more time. But when you're on a daily, you're trying to pump out videos. You know, I'm trying to piece things here and there, and I get limited hours. But I'd love to do video editing and, you know, photos and stuff.
Now,
That's what I'd do.
Is that why you stopped doing the daily vlogs? Just because of time and content?
Yeah, time and content. Yeah, and just like during this winter, right? We're not as busy. But during the summertime, I will go back to daily. I will keep pumping them out daily. Even though I might be working until like 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock, during the summertime, you'll always see daily content. And then I'm up till 1 or 2 in the morning during those spring and summer days, creating those videos. Okay. And then up again by 5, 6 in the morning.
Yeah. And I noticed you've been posting a lot of pictures of fishing. Obviously, that's something you really enjoy doing because you're getting ready to open up your little bait shop there, too. How are you finding time to do all that, too, man?
The bait shop, it's self-serve, right? It's going to take care of itself. I don't have to be there. The only thing I'm going to have to do is just get the vendor and get the wholesaler to put in the baits and stuff. All I need to do is provide a place for it and collect the money. So that's how I find time to do that. Right now we've got the shed coming. They're dropping off the shed next year, well, first week of January, and then I've got to get the equipment in there, and then we already got the distributor for the baits, and so everything's all lined up, and like I said, it's not going to take much of my time. I've got to close up the laundromat anyways every day, so I figured I can stock the fish or bait and everything at that time.
Now, what about actually going out and fishing? That I think that you know you're doing a lot of that too. So how?
Oh yeah.
You know, is a lot of that have to obviously you're ice fishing, so a lot of that probably has to do with the fact that you're not out pushing snow all night long right now.
Right. Yep. Whenever I'm not, like, if I get a chance, we're not pushing snow or anything, I'll call up my brother. We'll go out and we'll do some ice fishing. Like today, I talked to my brother, and we were talking like years ago, or even 2 years back. We had so much time on our hand that we'd be out fishing like through the winter. And now it's like we've got so much going on. He's got his business is growing. Our business is growing. I've got stuff going on, and we just have to make time.
So I noticed too, obviously GIE Expo is a big thing for you.
Yes.
You go to that every year. What's your favorite part about GIE?
Favorite part is meeting everybody, man. It's that part of, I didn't realize how big YouTube can make an impact on people, and I didn't know that I could connect with that many people. And the first year we went, I didn't think people would even know us. We get in and people came up and said hi, shook hands, and I don't even know these people. And then second year, it tripled for what people were doing and coming up to us and stuff. And it's a great feeling to know that people are watching the content. And not only that, but it helps connect and network with brands too as well. So
your time spent at GIE is pretty much shaking hands and taking pictures.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We don't. I mean, I wanted to go look at some equipment, but you're there because there's people that are wanting to see us. So
yeah, nothing wrong with that. Sports? Are you a sports guy?
No, nope. I don't follow any sports or watch any football or anything like that. No.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna take a quick scroll through the questions here.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to tell us about? Now's your open forum time. My questions are pretty much done. So.
Man. Well, I guess, you guys see a lot of what I do on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, and just check out the Chants Daily Hustle, man, on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, make sure you guys definitely go check that out. There's tons of good videos up there, tons of good content.
We got we're almost at 800 videos on my channel alone. So
in 2 years.
In 2 years, 800 videos.
That's a lot of videos, man. In 2 years.
Oh yeah.
There's only 300.
That's a lot of hours.
There's only 365 days in a year, and you're doubling that in videos. So, yeah. Who's your favorite YouTuber?
My favorite YouTuber, man.
I think I know the answer.
I'd have to say Casey Neistat, man. That's who really got me going. Casey Neistat was the first one that I looked at the vloggings, right? And I said, okay, he's got his style. How do I fit it into my style, my landscaping and lawn care of what I do in my daily life? I think each one of us has that special, something unique about us that we just have to share. And so I watch Casey and Neistat, and it's like, man, this guy's pumping out every day too.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to try it. And then from that point, because nobody was doing it in the lawn care industry or landscaping, the daily stuff. And I remember there was times that I'd look up like snow removal. And at that time, 2-3 years ago, I didn't see much for like the snow removal stuff. And I said, if I'm sitting down and searching these videos, there's got to be other people that are sitting down and wanting to see this. Because there was times that there was moments, I think, in the snow removal business where I thought I was the only one that had bad snow season, right? And you just want to see if anybody else is having a bad snow season. So then you would look up somebody and they're talking your language. Like you're going through the same thing, you're struggling, how do you move past it and stuff like that. And so that's how I think came about. And to be honest, Casey Neistat was the first one.
Yeah.
And then I think the lawn care, when I got into the lawn care industry, it was Stan Genetic and Keith Kalfas at that time. I remember before I even started daily vlogging, I hit up Keith Kalfas and said, hey, Keith, you're doing awesome. At that time, he was doing a lot of land care and landscaping videos. And I'd hit him up, and I wouldn't get a message back, for months. And then I said, I'm going to just put out my own video. And then suddenly, here we are. We get connected. We know each other. We talk to each other. That's how it comes about.
Right.
So.
When is your Daily Hustle World Tour starting?
Man, I'm working on that. I'm trying to get the back end of everything. There's going to be, of course, there's going to be sponsors and stuff. I'm trying to get that up and going.
I would like to see that. I would definitely, even if you're not coming to my city, I would definitely make the trip to see you. So I think that'd be cool.
I'm working on that.
That'd be cool, and that'd be a whole nother set of vlogs, man. You could literally film that entire thing and have hours and hours of content.
Right.
What would you say? What would you say has been your absolute worst experience as a business owner?
My absolute worst, man. I don't know if I'd say I'd have worse. I don't know, man. To be honest, everything in business, I think, for me, is supposed to go the way that it's supposed to, right? No matter if it's, no matter if, I don't know. I just don't look at things as bad, I guess. It's hard to pinpoint out.
That's all right.
Because
There's nothing wrong with that.
no matter if it's customers, it's, you know, if something I don't agree with the customer or anything, it's just I look at it as how can I grow, how can I do better on my part, even though I do not agree, right? I'm always looking at how can I better me, and it's hard for me to pinpoint out those things, I guess, you know.
So basically,
I guess I can say
what you're saying is the customer is always right. You just have to adapt to make it seem that way.
right. Yes. Even though we might not agree, it's just you just have to reverse the roles.
Right.
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 So,
Blaine wants to know when we're going to see a book called The Hustle.
I'm working on the audio book. I don't know about writing a book. I'm not good at writing a book. So if there was a person to write it, man, that book would be out by now. So,
you send them the audio book, they'll put it into words. How's that sound?
Right. Yeah. So working on that audio book so that I can put it on the Chants Daily Hustle website.
Yeah.
So.
All right. One last question for you. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie, man. I think my favorite movie would have to be what's that one with Will Smith? Pursuit of Happiness. That has to be my favorite movie. Where Pursuit of Happiness, where Will Smith and his son, or Will Smith is out there grinding and hustling and losing everything, and then finally, you know, at the end, he works his ass off and everything pays off. You know,
yeah.
So that would have to be my favorite movie.
All right, guys, there you have it. So, Chant, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking your time, man. Huge honor to have you on the show. I hope everybody enjoyed watching. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys go check out Chants Daily Hustle, chantsdailyhustle.com. I got that right, didn't I?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll make sure we post those links up. Guys, that's where he has his merch. Make sure you check out his YouTube as well. Obviously, he told you there's how many 800 videos?
About 800.
About 800 videos in less than 2 years on there for you guys to watch. So, and there's some really good, inspiring, motivating content on there. So make sure you guys check that out if you haven't. And I'll make sure to post the links up there. I'll probably do that tomorrow morning. I have to go warm my truck up, and I'm headed out to push snow. So
go make some money, man.
Yeah, I'm going to try. So, Chant, thank you so much, man. It's been a pleasure talking with you. You take care.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah.